Welcome back to the Venom Workshop. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how to change the rear shock in a Thunder dirt bike. It's not real terrible to get to, but we're going to have to take off a couple fairings just to get to the top bolt. This fairing here is going to have to come off for sure, and that's about it. And then what you want to put it up, you'll want to mount the bike up on something. You'll notice I have it up on a lift here. It's just, you need to put it up on something so you can take the shock out and drop the rear end down. You won't need any crazy special tools, anything like that. It's just going to be a regular socket set would work and a set of wrenches. You might need an Allen key set. Yeah, you'll probably need an Allen key set. It's normal. It's a metric Allen key set. So let's just get right to it. There's not a whole file that we have to take off, like I said. So we are going to be removing this fairing here. I think it's probably a number 4 Allen key, yeah. So we can get that off. Oh goodness, so I think it's a number 3. Just like that. Just pops on there, I think. Yeah, just like that. You just have to pull off the tab and it'll come to you. And all that does, you want to do that is so you can get a look at the bolt right there. We should be able to get to it. If we can't, we'll remove whatever fairing we need to. We might have to remove this fairing here. From what I'm seeing there, yeah, we'll need to remove the fairing to get the back behind this plastic. So that's not a big deal. All we need to do is do that, is take the seat off. Now the seat is not difficult to take off. It's not just a lift seat. You do have to take, there's a wing nut. So right back here, directly under here, there's a wing nut right where my hand is. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll pull that off. That's not specific to this dirt bike. Most of the dirt bikes just have a bolt, actually. The wing nut is kind of nice. So you lift up at the back of your seat. Like that. Get the back, pull it towards you, and it'll come off right in your hands. Then you're going to need a number, I think 5, if I'm not mistaken, for this bolt. Yeah, so that bolt's a number 5. And then I think that bolt's a number 3. It's just, they're all little Allen bolts. I'm just going to get some sort of a tray here to put the bolts in. Okay, so it's number 5 there. Okay. The other 2 are 3s. So there's 1 3 right here. This one has a washer, you just want to be careful. Oh wait, no. There's the wrong one. I just looked at this, and I don't need to take off these fairings. I'm doing that for nothing. I can literally see the shock right there. So once I took the seat off, I should be able to get to that with the socket. So now what we need to do is we need to take off the cover plate in the back though. There's a splash guard right here that stops stuff from hitting the shock, so we're going to take it off. It's just an 8mm socket. I got it to loosen, but I'm going to have to take it. There's a 10mm nut on the back of that, so we're going to take that off. So you're going to need a 10mm wrench as well. Just when you take your bolt and nut off, just put your nut back on your bolt so you know where your nuts are. I don't know who put that in there, but they cross-threaded that for sure. So I'll be probably putting a different bolt in there. Oh, it's still really tough in there. Let it go. There we go. Now we can just pull that right out. Like I said, yeah, I'll be changing that bolt for sure. Now we can get a look at the rear shock. This is actually a nice robust shock. Alrighty. So you'll notice that there is a protective bag over it, and that's again just to protect the shock. It is a very, very, very nice air ride shock. There's an adjuster on it right here that you can adjust how it rides. I'll show you a little bit more about that when I get the shock off. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take off the shock mount down here, and then we'll take off the shock mount at the top, and then we can get the shock out. My tire's off the ground, probably about 2 inches, so I'll just have to lift it up a tiny bit when I take the bolts out. But other than that, it should just slip right out. So I'm thinking that is probably a 15, maybe, or 16. Let's take a look. No, it's a 14 and a 13. Check both sides. So that is for sure 14. Yeah, that's going to be at least a 13. Maybe. a 12 and a 13, just in case. Oh, it is 13. So 14 and 13. Go. Okay, so I'm just going to lift up on the rear of the rear tire a little tiny bit. I'm going to pop that right out and drop my axle down. And the tire's just sitting on the ground now. And now we can go up to the top and take our top bolt out. And for how much it is, I might as well just use my 14-watt wrench. And I should be able to get it. Why am I carrying that around? Okay. Ooh, that's on there tight. Get that nut to move. Here we go. Yeah, it's not too already off. There we go. Now I just have to hold up the weight of the shock while I push the mounting bolt out. Okay. So now I just have to lift the shock out like this, and that's it. Now I'm going to bring this shock over to the bench and show you guys. This is actually a very, very, very nice rear monoshock in this bike. It's a very, very robust shock. So let's take a look. Okay. So let's unwrap that shock. Look at that. It's so beautiful. So there's two adjustments on this shock, and it's an air ride shock. So there's an adjustment down here. You can give it a stiffer ride or a looser ride. You can also tension down your the top of your spring here. So if you get a shock spanner, there's one set screw in here. You just loosen that off, and then you can tighten it up. You can also increase or decrease the air you put in your shock. Don't take this down to your local gas station and start pumping air into this, because you're going to blow the seals right out of it. You need a shock pump. So if you're going to be putting air in this, you want to make sure you use a shock pump to do it. Don't just, like I said, don't just go and willy-nilly and just start blowing air into this thing. Because this is, like I said, it's a very, very, very nice shock. You want to just take care of it. You want to make sure that it's in pristine condition, and it's nice that it has this bag that it stays in pristine condition like that, and you have nothing to worry about, like rust gathering on it or anything like that. So I just wanted to show you that real quick before we stick it back in, and then I'm going to go ahead and get turned around here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we can start putting our shock back in. So to put our shock back in, I'm just going to go over here. Just get you look at all our nice bikes. There you go. So what I'm doing is, I'm just going to be putting the shock right back in there. See if I can get my camera to angle right there so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, perfect. There we go. Okay. So now when I put this back in, you want to make sure that your air valve is pointed directly out. So, out. You want this air valve facing outwards. And then we can go ahead and we can just go down. Go ahead and get our bolt in place. There we go. There we go. And then once we get that in place, we can just go ahead and just start our nut. You don't have to tighten it up just yet. There we go. Now, we'll come down to the back here, and we will put our mount back right there. And we're just going to lift up our shock, or our rear swing arm like that. I want to go ahead and start the bolt in there. There we are. And yes, you can do this with one hand. Like that. And we can go ahead and start our bottom nut. There we go. So we need our 13 and our 14. And then tighten it down. You want this to be fairly tight. Just like that. That's good. And we'll come up and tighten our other one. Like that. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now that's it. We've changed our rear shock. Now all we have to do is put our seat back on and that one fairing that we didn't take off. And we're good to go. So and I'm going to get my number 3 one right in there. There we go. There we are. Put that one fairing back on the side here. That's an easy fairing to put on. You have a little tab right here. Just slips up in there like that. And it clips together, and that's it. Okay, that's nice and tight on there. Now we just have to put our seat on. And our splash guard. Now to put the seat on, there's a little tab right here. Line it up with the 2 tabs in the front, and this hooks underneath here. So it just kind of goes like this. Yep. And just give it a shot forward like that, and it'll pop down. And we just have to put our splash guard on. I'll show you real quick with one bolt. I don't want to use that other bolt, so I'm going to go get another one before I put it on. And I'll show you how to put that one bolt in. It's like I said, it's fairly simple. So splash guard goes like that. Oops. There's a bolt goes right here. And then there's another, like I said, another bolt there. I'm gonna go get a different bolt because I don't want to use that one again. So we'll just tighten this one up and that's it. So 8 and 10. And you'll really appreciate that splash guard because it really protects your motor and the shock. It keeps mud, like you're gonna get a ton of mud that builds up in there. So it's really nice to have that on there. And so that's it. That's how you change the rear shock on a Thunder Dirt bike.